Green light. Good afternoon. I just wanted to make a short announcement that we are going to delay our start by 10 minutes. There has been some significant traffic that we have heard rumors of, and so we are hoping to get all of our graduates here. And so 3:10, it feels good. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for being patient. I think we are ready to get going. Today is a good day. Today is a great day. Today is a day of celebration. We have a number of traditions at our Guildhall ceremony that you will get to participate in today. Certainly those who have done it before, we always look forward to it, and it is with great joy and expectation that we start. I would like to start by introducing the faculty, who of course are known to the graduates, but maybe not their friends and family. So, as I call your name, please rise, and we will save our applause, which will be duly deserved, till the end. Matt Butler, Jeff Cavett, Dr. Corey Clark, Boris Fisher, Dr. Alicia Hayes, Mark Leone, Juwan McDowell, Mike Olette, Mike Porter, Martin Sawkins, Dr. Carl Steiner, Brandon Stevens, Dr. Elizabeth Stringer, Steve Stringer. Have I got everybody? I think I did. Yes, you'll notice not everyone's standing. We have non-faculty on stage. Katie, oh, Dr. Katie Wood. Yes, our special guest appearance. I am so sorry. Yes, a round of applause. Oh, so you're on the next page. That's my bad. I would also like to recognize the Guildhall staff, who of course do all the real work at the Guildhall and get things done, of which we, poor faculty, I think, would not be able to do on our own. So some of them are not here in the room. They are preparing our reception and things for later. But if you are in the room, please stand and wave as I read the names. Renee Archambault, Mary Ensley, Matthew O'Neill, Jonathan Roach, Levi Sterling, Andrea Tyke, and Mallory Trumpfeller. And let's... I would also like to recognize our special guest, one of our industry partners, and truly a good friend of the Guildhall. He can tell you stories about how the very things that exist at Guildhall today were some of his ideas. He was a part of the origin story, if you will, and even the very names that we call our specializations today are largely due to him. He is currently CEO of a local studio, Forward XP, which also, very gratefully to us and hopefully to you, employs a number of our alumni. Steve Nix. Okay, now I get to address the graduates. Cohort 34, are you ready to graduate? Okay. After 2 years, we need more than that. Are you ready to graduate? Yeah! All right, there we go. You now get to join the more than 1,100 alumni. You get to join the more than 350 studios that have Guildhall representatives in them. And it is my privilege and honor to give you a charge. And at this time, as you all deeply know, and maybe deeply know more than we do, we are at an inflection point in our industry. That is to say, the direction is changing. There is just a lot of change. And so I want to speak briefly about some of the changes and perhaps some ways to think about that. The first big change is, of course, where and how we play games. We have seen studio closures, we have seen platforms being discontinued, we have heard tales of new ways of being able to play games. We have seen Xbox decide all capitals is the way to go. I'm old. When I was a child, video games didn't exist in a meaningful way. I played the first Pong in Cappy's Bar in San Jose. And I have seen this evolution from arcades to home consoles to home computers, back to consoles, to online gaming, to mobile, and cycling through all these three things again. And so I've seen a lot of boom and bust cycles. One way I think about this, because I lived through it, and it was telling. I remember in 1983, people going around and saying this whole fad of video games has finally died off. It's gone the way of the hula hoop. You probably don't even know what a hula hoop is. It's so ancient. Video games have come and gone. That's from the 1970s. We're a modern era. Companies were getting out of the video game business, selling things off at a fire sale. The common wisdom says it's game over. Of course, this is also the time, for those of you who know their history, that Nintendo was developing the Nintendo Entertainment System, and they had this little game called Super Mario Brothers that they thought the world might like, right? It was the time of incredible creativity and recreation, and it changed the way that we play. I think the same is true now. But even beyond just the kind of the homespun story, the other number that I go to commonly is we now have the numbers for 2025. It takes us a while to get them. But consumer spend in 2025 was 4% higher than it was in 2024. Where people are spending that money is changing, but the amount of time that people spend playing games, the amount of money is not decreasing, which I think is very hopeful for our industry. And I hate to do it, but here we are. We also have to talk that how games are being made is changing. I have to say the dreaded AI word. I think, how many graduations? Please don't boo me. But it is, and we don't have time for a nuanced or delicate discussion around this. So I will just say, we spent 2 days in faculty meetings yesterday, and we had lots of talks. But one of the things, and there's lots of evidence and lots of research on this, that while AI can be a powerful transformative tool, it still requires humans in the loop. It still requires subject matter experts to be effective. I hear this time and time again when I visit studios. AI has no taste. AI has no creativity. And while it can be a lever that can make you more efficient at your work, one of the ways we see this is people think of concept art might be one of the professions that is most easily replaced by AI. As you look back over the past few years, while many companies, although they will all deny it in public, are using AI, it's part of this process. But concept artists, the number being hired in the industry has gone up, not down. And again, it's that human in the loop. So while how we make games is undoubtedly going to change significantly, people with high-level skills are still going to be needed. That the skills that you have gained here will still be in demand. They may be done a little differently than we started, but we still need people who know what it takes to make a good game, to make a game fun. The other change is a little bit more local and perhaps less important to you as students, but very important to those of us on the stage. But I think it is worth mentioning that this is the last graduation with Guildhall as part of the Provost's office, where we have been structurally. Next year we will be in Meadows, actually as of June 1st. And so I'm like, okay, why is he talking about school bureaucracy at graduation? I think what it goes to is this deep understanding that despite us being very technologically savvy, in fact, I might argue some of the most technologically savvy people on campus, that ultimately what we make is art. And art is something where we speak to the human condition. We speak to people what they think and feel. And that is an important part of what we do. And so we look forward to being able to express that more fully. I hope that you stay in touch as we add degrees and really expand not only what we do in the graduate world, but also in the undergraduate. But of course, the biggest change that is most important for us to talk about today is you are graduating. You will no longer be with us. And there is no doubt in my mind that the skills that you have gained here will serve you well. I know we are in a tough market. Be patient. We have seen this before. The results have always been good in the past, and I expect that to be true for you all. Please be patient. I have seen the benefits of this education. That said, I think we are very excited to see what you will do, how you will change this industry, right? As we are a part of this, as I have talked about, sea changes across things, you are the ones who are going to define what those are, how they impact the industry, how they impact players. We are very excited to see what you will do. And the only thing that we really ask is that after you've gone about recreating how we play games, where we play games, how games are made, that occasionally you decide to come back and visit us and tell us where you've been on your journey, what you've learned. Let us share your triumphs with you. And so I encourage you to create video games that have moments of joy and justice in the world, because we need that more than ever we just do. So congratulations. And I think this is a time that we should applaud our graduates. It is now my distinct honor to introduce the student speaker that was voted upon by the graduates. And I would like to introduce Ian Rodriguez.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to take a drink of water. I'm going to take several drinks of water while I'm talking. Okay. Good afternoon, graduates, staff, faculty, families, and friends. My name is Ian Rodriguez, a student from cohort 34 under the level design track. During my time at the Guildhall, I had the honor to serve as the lead designer for Hard Drivers, one of our most amazing games. Please go download on Steam now. The level design GA for cohort 35, and the president of the Student Activities Committee. As Director Brubaker just mentioned, this year's ceremony will be the final one where SMU Guildhall will celebrate its graduating class alone, as next year we will be joining the Meadows School of the Arts, and thus will be sharing the festivities with their students. I am proud to be representing C34, and even more honored to be the final student speaker for this era of Guildhall's history. When Director Brubaker approached me a month ago to be this year's student speaker, I freaked out. I'm freaking out right now. Yes, I had nominated myself for the position, and yes, I had some amazing classmates who voted for me, but I had never written a speech before. I had no clue where to even start. What do I say? Who do I thank? Do I just have ChatGPT write it for me? No, I wrote this myself. Thankfully, my meeting with Director Brubaker cleared many of my worries and provided some much-needed guidance. After answering my hundreds of questions, he gave me one imperative point: find an analogy, a theme, a vehicle to deliver the speech. In other words, find some high-level topic that encapsulates the message I want to leave with my cohort, something unique. He gave me an example of how one student used the game Harvest Moon as their vehicle. That student compared their classmates to NPCs, their memories to the crops that they cultivated, Ford Hall to the farmhouse, etc. With this, I got to thinking, what was my vehicle going to be? It needed to be something personable, yet applicable to my classmates. Something broad enough for our guests to understand, yet still relevant and personal to my class. Something to capture our 2 years of very, very, very hard work. So, after some thinking, I recalled the time way back in Prof. L's Level Design 1 class, a time when the LDs were still learning the foundations of design. Throughout this course, Prof. O would present us with a series of support material videos, which were basically supplemental content that touch on multiple areas: level design, game design, and critical thinking. I remembered one video in particular that had been stuck in my head ever since I watched it. A 2014 GDC talk by Jim Brown, former principal designer at Epic Games. It was titled, "The Importance of Everything." The talk revolved around the idea that data is everywhere, but data itself is meaningless. It must be processed and interpreted to create a solution to a design problem. But that theme wasn't what made the speech memorable to me. The reason why Brown's talk struck a chord with me was because of its other message, the one that made it into the title, the importance of everything. The idea that every single detail in a game, no matter how big or small, plays a role in crafting the player's experience. If I'm being frank, as a perfectionist, this idea very much scared me. It was just very overwhelming. How could everything matter? Does decor matter? Does ambience matter? What about the 17th desk mat that I've placed in my Starfield level so the desks aren't empty? Well, it turns out that the answer is yes. Everything truly does matter in game design. This doesn't mean that every decision needs to be perfect. It means that every decision needs to be informed. Every design choice should have intent. With that in mind, let's rephrase the question from before. Instead of wondering how everything could matter, as creatives, we should ask, why does everything matter? Why does that desk mat matter? Does its positioning and orientation tell a story? Does the color of the mat distract the player from the other elements of the room? Does the material of the mat make sense to be present in the game setting? Everything matters. Eventually, I realized that this idea applies to everything we did at the Guildhall. Every assignment, every long night, every memory we made together is relevant. Everything matters. Generally speaking, this idea shaped my second year of the program. I learned to cherish all the memories that had happened up until that point, good or bad. Every time our menu broke in TGP2, that mattered. How about the time when Yimo put on the performance of a lifetime singing the opening to Licorice Recoil at one of our karaoke nights? That mattered. Even the time that Max sponsored the food for a SAC event, only for his bank to call him later and ask him why he purchased $400 worth of canes. That mattered. And I don't want you to think that I keep rephrasing or I keep repeating everything matters for the sake of driving home a theme for this speech. I truly believe that every experience, every moment, and every struggle happens for a reason. To put it another way, allow me to explain this idea with a different word, one that I only discovered recently from my friend Ry Mendenhall, gestalt. Gestalt is an experience that, when considered as a whole, has qualities that are far more than the total of its parts. What I mean to say is that every individual moment we shared together at the Guildhall has contributed to shaping our experience. Finally, I would like to give a more personal perspective on my 2 years here. This has been, without a doubt, the hardest thing that I have ever done. And I hope that the rest of the graduates say the same thing, or else I'm going to feel really stupid. Never before did I have to stay up at 4 a.m. working on an assignment. Never before did I have to juggle 3 term projects all at the same time. Never before did I have to survive on frozen food for so many days straight. That being said, attending this program has changed me. It cultivated my growth as a person, as a professional, and most importantly, a teammate. I learned how to think, work, cooperate, and iterate as a creative. Guildhall changed how I tackled problems, how I manage huge projects, how I perceive others, the list goes on. My point is this: the impact of the program goes beyond professional training. It has a unique and profound effect on our personalities, confidence, and critical thinking. But this transformative experience was not braved alone. I have met some of the most talented, caring, and hilarious people during my time at the Guildhall. The friends that I have made here have each taught me something valuable individually. Franklin has taught me how to look at the bright side of things. Daniel taught me the importance of experimentation. Jay taught me that my opinions matter. Max taught me the importance of relying on teammates. Serene taught me how to stay calm when we had 4 milestones due that week. Each of these lessons, and more, are ones that I will carry into the industry and beyond. Everything matters. I would like to conclude my speech with a quote from Jim Brown's talk. Everyone you meet knows something you don't. You do impossible, amazing things every single day. Ideas, no matter how small, are worth sharing. Every time I come up here and I do something like this, my heart is racing. I'm pushing myself to try something new and to push myself to be better. I would strongly encourage each and all of you to push yourself to new limits, start a conversation, and share your ideas. You may not realize it, but everything you do every single day is important. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Everything matters. So, one of the things that also matters is, of course, giving the student address at the Guildhall commencement. And to commemorate that, we have a gift for you. Go ahead and take it out.
There's a lot of things in my hand.
Yeah, yeah.
If I drop this, I'm sorry. This is very heavy.
Can you hold it in your safe hand? Congratulations. We'll put it back in the box. Thank you, thank you. And at this point, we are at another inflection point, a time to change. We are going to recognize our graduates, perhaps the reason that all of us are here tonight. And so in that, we are going to take a brief intermission. We are going to reconfigure the stage. The graduates are going to line up, the faculty are going to line up, and when we're all ready, it should be about 5-10 minutes, we will start the profession. Yes. It's been a long semester, hasn't it? But this is great. We will get photos. Everyone should have their instructions. So those of you who are here to watch your graduate come and be hooded, give us just a second. This is going to be really good, and we will start shortly.
A couple seconds after the music starts, you can go.
All right. Please go ahead and take your seats as we present our graduates.
Right, we are proud to present the SMU Guildhall graduating class of 2026. Slight delay. Kyle Ang, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Yulin Jeff Chen, Master's Candidate in Art Creation. Runja Fong, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Rotong Zhang Guan, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Haonan Guo, Master's Candidate in Art Creation. Serene Hamida, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Daniel He, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Yunfan He, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Zi Hua, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Cheng Huang, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Yuchao Yuki Huang, Master's Candidate in Art Creation. Li Aiden Zhang, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Hung Tao Lin, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Miffy Liu, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Jiafan Liu, Master's Candidate in Level Design. You, Eureka Loon, certificate candidate in art creation, working to complete masters. Aiden Makajewski, master's candidate in software development. Alexander Maddox, master's candidate in production. Jonathan Murray, master's candidate in level design. Colin Park, certificate candidate in level design, working to complete masters. James J. Parker, master's candidate in level design. Ian Rodriguez, master's candidate in level design, student speaker. Shuyi Shi, certificate candidate in art creation, working to complete masters. McCrae Smith, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Stephen Smith, Master's Candidate in Production. Max Tabin, Master's Candidate in Production. Yue Sheng, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Chanukya Vinapali, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Peyton Walker, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Yongchen Wang, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Jacob Wilkin, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Caleb Won, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Yu Hao Franklin Wu, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Haiying Yona Schmidt, Master's Candidate in Art Creation. Jason Young, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Wenhui Ray Yi, Master's Candidate in Art Creation. Danny Yuan, Master's Candidate in Production. Jing Jin Yuan, Master's Candidate in Art Creation. Hanyi Zhang, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Huayue Zhang, Master's Candidate in Software Development. Xiaowen Zhang, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Tianyu Zhang, Master's Candidate in Level Design. Imo Obane Zhao, Master's Candidate in Art Creation. Sure Zhou, Certificate Candidate in Art Creation, working to complete Masters. And those were your Guildhall graduates of 2026.
Congratulations on all the accomplishments, and congratulations too to the families and friends that helped support this accomplishment. This concludes our ceremony, except for, I think, what may be my favorite part. At this time, we will ask our students and faculty to proceed out to the steps where we are going to take a group photo and capture the entire cohort and faculty together. We understand that there may be some family and friends who also want to capture this picture. We will ask that you let our professional photographer finish, and then he will step away, and we will give time for the family to take pictures as well. We will see you out on the steps.